This is a great image of a respectable, classy, beautiful woman.
For you to point out this well-dressed sister here to make me feel some type of way about myself becomes a problem.
Man, let me get you.
Reason I have never said I do is because I don't.
I've been married, and I couldn't sign up for bad sex.
Test drive.
So if we enter a relationship with anything that's about me, then I don't believe that we're ready.
But anyway, we're talking about, this is part 2 of Do You Trust Your Best Friend? But this time we're talking about the best friend, everyone. I mean, everyone says, oh, my man or my husband is my best friend, and that's my man is my best friend. I've never really gotten to that point of best friend, but we have Simply Monica here. She's our guest, and her husband, we call him Light-Skinned Steve. Is that what it is? Light-Skinned Steve. And they're one couple who has survived infidelity, and we're going to get more into that.
I just need to know this before we go anywhere else.
Go, what?
Honey, you ain't but a shade off from him. Why he light-skinned Steve? I just need background so I can understand.
He's light-skinned Steve because I'm Simply Monica.
Okay, I just need to understand. Okay, I just wanted to know. Since you told me it was trademarked and all. Okay.
I know most people, I mean, not me, everybody thinks you can't survive infidelity. Have you thought about that? If you were married and your spouse cheated,
yes.
Could you?
I think everybody thinks about it before you get married.
Oh, I thought you said
no.
You would survive it.
I think I could survive it. Now, whether or not his testicles will, that's a whole nother situation. I'm gonna be honest with y'all right now. You know, no. He can keep the penis, but he's gonna be a eunuch. He's gonna be singing some high notes. But I mean, no, on the real. I'm just on the real because you know what? The way I feel about infidelity, not only did you destroy this, but you put my life and health at risk. That's my biggest issue. You destroyed the trust. And you could have brought something back here that I can't get rid of.
Yes.
So that's what scares me to death.
That's what scares me to death.
That's what scares, because,
I can get another man, but I can't get another me if something happens.
And and the whole thing about them bad diseases, like you look horrible when you get them, and I can't just be messing all this up.
So, David, I mean, how do you feel about infidelity?
Infidelity is something that I personally have struggled with because of your...
You mean you were unfaithful?
It's because, and I'm not going to speak for all men, there's a certain degree of I talked about before, of temptation, of lust, and opportunity. That as a man, and men are very visual creatures, and it's a struggle sometimes because everybody expects you to have a certain degree of self-control, thinking that you should be smart enough, you should know. But then there's things you give into because if you're used to being single and on your own and living and dating, and then you find yourself involved, that transition can be difficult depending on how long you've been out there. So I can speak about it firsthand. It's a struggle because you still want to find yourself desirable. You still want other people to see you as desirable. All these different things can happen, and then you find yourself in a situation where you're wishy-washy, or you back and forth and trying to guess, do I want to be in this? Do I not? Do I want to go this way? Do I want to be single? Do I want to be involved? And that's when all the other temptations, lust, opportunity, and vulnerability falls into place.
That's what I'm saying, that temptation, the opportunity, and it's always there, but people always like to say, it's not. I can't stand when people always get on the fence and say, it's not, don't worry about it. We don't want to be insecure, but when you think about it, the opportunity is always there, especially when someone has children or something. You always have to be around somebody you've been screwed with before. You screwed that person, so you know what it's like. So if you have to always be, and if you always have to, it's comfortable to fall into. I knew too many people that fell back into it, but you always want to say no, trying to convince us that it's not that way. But the temptation, opportunity is always there. So stop trying to convince us that that's not going to happen, because it can happen, and be on guard. That's my whole point. But
Roberto actually speaking up.
I think the indiscretion can be forgiven, but usually it's the pursuit of that extramarital affair the relationship aspect where it just didn't happen. Now you're trying to keep it engaged and keep it going, so that now she doesn't believe when you say you're going to the gym or running ball with your homeboys, because you're doing something other than just whenever it just happened, as far as that opportunity or that moment of weakness. So I think women can get past that, the pursuit of the relationship or the affair, the pursuit of it is what I think ruins relationships.
And I agree, infidelity should not be tolerated, especially in marriage. You got to understand, I actually consult married men who struggle with this. And I text them, why did you get married? Oh, I was tired of playing the field. Then they get married, and then they're chilling, and then they're back there out in the field. Married and dating, it doesn't make sense. If you're committed to someone, you should stay committed. And like Danielle said, you're putting the other person's life at risk if you're going to, cheat on your mate. So you should be very careful of that. But it should not be tolerated. Forgiven, but not tolerated.
I think that another contributing factor to infidelity is often people don't clearly define things. When they don't communicate from the beginning. I think you should be, if someone says, let's be exclusive, you need to know how that person defines exclusive. Because their version of exclusive could just mean, well, you don't have sex. And then your version could be, you don't make new friends. If you're in a relationship, you need to know what if, I say play the what if game with kids. You throw out every scenario and you play the what if game with your significant other, because you need to know if you run into so-and-so at lunch, how would you feel if you walked by and I was eating lunch? That's something that you need to have clearly defined. And oftentimes, another factor is people aren't honest with themselves. Going into relationships, often people, which I think is easier to present all of you, get all of them, and then you can clearly decide together if this union is going to work. People hide the freaky side or hide the whatever different sides because they don't want this person to